Yo, what's going on? It's Top G Trades with another weekly Sunday Outlook video. Today we'll be going into my favorite pairs. So we'll run into the Bitcoin, silver, gold, GJ, EJ, US 500, US 100, US 30, EU, GU, and then we'll move on into all the major forex pairs, and then we'll also move on into the indices or indexes. And let's begin. So for Bitcoin, we're currently at 79k and 835. So we go, first of all, we go to the monthly chart. So on Bitcoin, we broke all the monthly resistances, and now we're at the monthly. We broke also the 73,600 monthly resistance, and we also broke the October monthly high. So we can write down October high, and we had a monthly open which is 66,800. We scale down into the weekly time frame, so we have all of these weekly support resistance zones. Let's do it somewhat like that. Yeah. So in the weekly, I see a support resistance zones. On the daily, we're still bullish. If this continues, nobody knows where it will go. Yeah. So if we've seen push one, so that's 8k. So let's see push two. Maybe we'll go into the 80 something k, and then we're gonna maybe go down, and then we'll retest and continue going up, or we may not even continue. We may even not even retest. We may just continue go all the way up, and then you see all these minor key levels, especially on the daily. You see these can be brand new key levels that were just created. So for example, the 75,600. You see the 76k, and maybe even the 77k. You go to the 4-hour chart. So for example, the 75,600 looks way stronger than the other support resistances. So price is still above the all-time high, and yeah, it can simply just come all the way down, give us buy signals, and you can re-enter every time. You can always catch the train, bro, so don't FOMO. And you have also another opportunity. Maybe we draw it this way, so you have another support resistance zone. So if you want to look for buys, I wouldn't recommend sells, especially in this bull run. So you want to follow the trend. So if you want to look for buys, you just want to look for a pullback, because at the end of the day, you see, people thought that price will just only go blue candles or green candles all the way to the moon, which is impossible. If you had a half a brain, you would have drawn a key level over here, and you would have had the purchase signal again. In this green candle, you had one opportunity, two opportunities, and if you draw a zone, over here, for example, you had countless opportunities, especially if you go to the minute 30 candle. You see bullish engulfing. You see break of structure. You could have simply placed your stop loss below this, especially if you see in the bullish engulfing. Maybe target the first support resistance. You could have easily made a 1-to-1, but it's Bitcoin, yeah? So you want to scale in. You don't know how long it will continue. You could have made a 5,000 points worth of 5,000 aura points if you bought over here. Now, question number one: where's the second entry for Bitcoin? Bitcoin, bro. You wanna know Bitcoin, yeah? Your mom, your mom talks about Bitcoin at house, yeah? And you wanna capitalize about it? That's how you do it, mate. So, you have this 4 hour liquid. Pay attention, bro, because I don't want to repeat my shit. So you have this 4 hour liquidity. So you just chill. You don't do nothing. Maybe look for the minute 5. Like if you really feel like you want to be risky. But if I was you, I would just wait for the 4 hour, because that's guaranteed. Yeah, that's guaranteed. That's also more guaranteed. Why guaranteed? Because you'll go at least for a 1-to-1 risk to reward before price reverses at your entry if you enter at these zones. Because you see, there's so much liquidity over here, and you can be even more conservative. And you wait for you have a wider zone, or you can even be more aggressive for the break and retest, and that is it. Why I don't want to draw in the hourly or 30-minute, 5-minute, 15? Because at the end of the day, we started in the monthly. So you don't wanna trade lower than the monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour. These are your trend biases. If you trade lower than the 4 hour, maybe the 1 hour, 30-minute, all of these time frames should be for your entry signal confirmation only. Only just to double check, just to feel good. They should never be your buy confirmations. The hourly can be subjective, but the minutes 30, 15, 5, they shouldn't be used for zone drawing. So you've seen this liquidity zone, which was a previous resistance, 200 and 2500k. It turned into a new support. You had the hourly time frame confirmations, break and retest. You could have placed a purchase to be more. If you want to be super safe, you could have had stop loss all the way over here. If you want to be more aggressive, like me for example, you saw the engulfing, bullish engulfing hourly 30-minute. Let's go to even to the hourly. You see a bullish engulfing candle, for example over here. You can always enter and your stop loss maybe above, below this. Worst case scenario stop losses, you can even place it over this, below, even below the October high, and you still would have made a 1 to 3. But the problem is, you have to wait. You see the monkey inside of your head. You have to catch the monkey inside of your head and let him calm down. Let him stop the FOMO. Make the right decision. If there's an opportunity, we enter. No opportunity, we don't enter. That is it for Bitcoin. I don't want to overcomplicate it, because if I did, then it will be impossible. So these are your minor support resistance zones. Minor support resistance, October high, and that's your major support resistance zone. The 70k plus range. Do I think it's possible that Bitcoin will go all the way back to 70k? Yes. Why? Because back when we were in 70k, everyone thought it's impossible to go back into 50k. And look, we went back into 50k. You see? So, everyone's happy now, the bull run, everything, but it will come back down. And when it comes back down, you should be ready. So, you should keep this in your mind. There's nothing such as price cannot go any higher, and also there's nothing such as price cannot go any lower. That's a rule, and you should respect it. So for silver, did I... let me see if I've already... I don't even think I have silver in my... Okay, boom, we added silver in our index. So in the monthly, so you have this on silver. You have this October high. You have October low. A second. So you have the October high, October low. We run down into the weekly. So what do we have in the weekly? We have this support resistance zone in the weekly. The 31.4 weekly level. And we also have another level, which is you can always draw levels over here. If I would draw a level, I would draw the 30 level. And we have also another level, the 32.3 level. Now what do? We go to the daily, we adjust the weekly levels. So for the 30.36 level, we simply draw a daily zone over here like this. That's your daily zone. For the 31.3 level, you go all the way, you adjust your stuff. If you're in the Mac, if you're using MacBook, you can always zoom in with the hotkeys. We don't need even to draw a zone for this because it's even more precise. Super precise, and we already have a zone. So what do we see in the daily? That's what we see in the daily. We go into the 4-hour chart. So we see silver still bearish. So what do we look for? So if I was me, I would look for silver. Either A, go all the way to the weekly 32.3, form some 30-minute H1 rejection closures, and then I'll take profit. Maybe TP1 on this level and TP2 on this final level, 30. Maybe price doesn't even go all the way up; it just continues going down. Then I'll look for buys in this level, the 30 level, which is super strong. And if it goes, because at the end of the day, unless price shows me, for example, price went somewhat below this zone, and so we go to the daily again. So the zone has turned into somewhat second guessy, especially if we want to adjust the zone. And if we also want to, because at the end of the day, like, price came into this minor liquidity zone, as we see, and it actually worked out. Yeah, nothing wrong with these daily minor liquidity zones, especially if you find the buy, especially price took liquidity. So you think at somebody who's sprinting, yeah, so they sprint down, then sprint down again, then sprint down all again, then they try to sprint down all again, then buyers came into place in this minor zone. In this minor zone, which still had some liquidity, which still had some banks ready to scale into their long positions, and yeah, on Thursday and Friday, buyers outweighed the sellers, although it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best move, but it was still some move. Yeah, you could have capitalized on this move if you had the perfect pinpoint entry. You could have still capitalized on that move and made a 2.5 risk. So how can we increase the probability of this move? Well, simple. You go to the minute 5 chart. You take a trend line. Again, trend lines are subjective. So you go to the 30-minute. You see the break of structure. So maybe You could have bought, but then your risk to reward will be somewhat like this. And maybe if you go to the minute 5 and you had it somewhat like this, which is still again somewhat subjective. Maybe the minute 1 find a better picture. I mean, in the minute 1 it looks way easier and clearer. So you go to the minute 1, you see the dump has ended, and then, but this is nothing. It's not a confirmation. It's just a bias. But you see the minute 1 trend line break. You see this minor daily, minor, not major, minor. So we even label it as minor daily level. So if price comes back again, it will take all the liquidity. And you see the minute 30, for example, we go all the way back. You see the minute 30 bullish engulfings. You could have simply took a long position, stop loss above these last wicks, just below them, I mean. And TP was, my TP would probably be over there. And yeah, like you could have squeezed the 1 to 3.5 risk to reward. So that's for silver. So for silver, just to wrap it all up again. So I'll just wait, because this level seems like it's not being even respected. And it doesn't even look clear, yeah, because this zone is so big. But although we've made an hourly high, and unless we made an H4 bullish engulfing in this minor zone, we go all the way here, we make an H4 bullish engulfing, maybe we'll look for buys, but we don't want to chase it. I want to make this clear. We don't want to chase the trade, and we'll just wait until the next clear, no second guess liquidity zone. We'll wait for the entry signal confirmation, and then we'll place a trade. So silver is covered. For gold, it's even way clearer than silver, because you see the daily zone. And for gold, yeah, it's either A, goes back to the 2750, gives you sell signals. B, goes all the way down and gives you buy signals. For US 100, US 30, all of them are in their all-time highs. Now what you can do, let's go to the US 100 for example. US 100, me personally, what I think price can revisit, because the chances are so high for price to revisit this tip only, and then continues to bounce up, or maybe it never comes back. Who knows? Yeah, and maybe it will never come back. For US 30, the same thing. But for US 30, it's a bit more unique. It's different than US 100. Why? Because it's higher than the US 100, and you see you have more liquidity. So you go to the 4-hour time frame. You don't even need to draw a zone, because it's so obvious. So what you want to do is you want to wait for US 30 to come back all the way to the daily Friday open daily level. You see we already have double bottom support, and we also have RSI divergence. So let me just readjust the RSI. So know what, let me change it. Okay, so we have a default. So you see that's a divergence. That's another minute 5 divergence. Somewhat like that. So we can also see a minute 5 divergence on this level. If price goes all the way back to this level on US30, you can easily look for a bounce. And especially like if what I think will happen, price can come back all the way to this, gives you some consolidation, maybe minute 30 engulfing, hourly rejection, whatever. Yeah, minute 5 trend line breaks, and then you can easily take a buy for this, or maybe for these highs, depending on how tight your stop loss is. And yeah, you can always look for a trade. So how did we identify this trade? Simply, we went into the daily level, daily time frame on the US30. We've seen this wick, touch A, touch B. Maybe price can go all the way to the lows of this touch. Yeah, it's not precise. You always want to use your brain cells and intuition to know exactly when the actual reversal is coming. Especially it's a tiny liquidity area. Especially it's a daily, so it's good, but it's still a tiny liquidity area compared to this major zone, for example. So you always want to keep in your mind that it's not the best move, but it's still something. And you know what they say, something is better than nothing. US 500, I don't see nothing until price gives us more information or revisits the previous weekly level. German 40, you have this weekly level, you have this liquidity, you have this. So we've already won a trade on German 40. I'll just wait. I don't know what's gonna happen soon, but yeah, I want to wait. Especially it's not clear now. And what I think, maybe if we go into this weekly high, then I'll look for sells, or maybe a break retest, or maybe if we go even, we break these lows, break and retest, depending on what happens. The Euro 50, I think we've already closed on the daily time frame below the weekly 48k level. So what I think, we go below the level, retest, then go even to this level, stop loss somewhat like that, make a 1, 2, 3 risk to reward. France 40. So we're at support, at weekly support, weekly daily support, but yeah, we made a lower high on the low time frame, and we want to maybe look for buy signals or maybe break and retest, depending on what happens. We've already took a break and retest trade on this, and we closed somewhat at half an hour. I've already covered this pair on the previous video. For FX, so GJ. I think that is it for today, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.